Hello, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are having a good day and you are celebrating in whatever way you can. I just woke up and I wanted to do this reading for you guys on what are people grateful for you. And Alex is making me a bagel, and so this isn't going to be a very long reading, but I just wanted to hopefully shed some light on why people love you. So I have three piles here: pile number one, pile number two, and pile number three. I will put your picture here. Also, sorry that it's so dark. I'm working on getting some overhead lights to brighten all of this space up. So anyways, with that being said, choose your pile and I will see you there. All right, pile number one. What are people thankful and grateful of for you? This is kind of a boss pile. Some of you guys might be bosses. This is a leadership position in one way or another. I feel like a lot of you are parents, or you have this leadership, also nurturing quality that you think of when you think of a parent. You know, the parent is the leader of the family, but they also provide a lot of support and nurturing. So I feel like you guys do that either for children. First of all, if you are parents, your children do look upon you like the emperor or the empress, somebody who is very loving, very nurturing, provides for all their needs, somebody who likes to have a lot of fun and is very gentle in your guidance, and they really trust you and they trust your judgment. And yeah, they just absolutely appreciate you. You guys have a talent for making things just amazing and beautiful. You guys also, your energy curators in your space. Everything that you do seems to uplift the space around you. You guys create a very safe container for people. I really can't shake the feeling that a lot of you guys are bosses, but you're very nurturing and creative in the things that you bring to the table. With Lakshmi here, with prosperity, some of you guys might celebrate Diwali, and I'm so sorry I missed that. I've been so busy and I've just not done a great job of things. So happy Diwali if I missed it, but you guys might be business owners, and you just create a sense of abundance, and that could be financially, and I feel like for a lot of you it is. You guys could be very charitable. You could always donate things. You might be volunteers. You might volunteer in like food kitchens around holidays like Thanksgiving or something. I just feel a very giving spirit. You have abundance and you share. You've created that abundance through wisdom, and you have a really good head on your shoulders. Another thing that people really appreciate about you guys, pile number one, is you give really good advice. Like, you have this very earthy element to you, right? Like kind of the King and Queen of Pentacles, like the Empress, where everything is very stable and abundant. You guys might literally have a green thumb. I feel like you probably, and this is going to be on scale, you know, maybe you're a college student, you don't have many funds, but there's something about your space that always just feels really nice and really homey and really good. And it could just be the energy field around you. You guys uplift that space, but you give really, really good advice. I feel like people really listen whenever to the insights that you have, because you have a very grounded approach, but then you also, with Pioneer and Child Eternal, right? The light attribute here is determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, and the ability to see things with fresh eyes. And Pioneer, we have passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. So there's something quite stable about you, but also very energized and creative, and you're not afraid to try something different. And a lot of times you see the world differently than the people around you. And because of that, and I feel like spiritually as well, where you do have like this energetic, spiritual, nurturing understanding that then you fold into the material world around you in just a really, really great way. Some of you guys might be Ketu dominant, so Ashwini, Maga, or Mula, because Ketu, and if you don't, that's totally fine, or you're tapping into your South Node, because there's a magic about you and about what you bring to the table. It's almost otherworldly. It goes beyond just the surface level of something. It feels like you're infused by spirit itself, almost like you have a root growing down into another world, and you just again, it makes you blossom and bring certain spiritual gifts into the world in a really stable, persistent, consistent kind of a way for people. What I was going to say about K2 is like these people, it's funny because K2 rules over the past and it rules over our past lives. But a lot of times, like with Ashwini in particular, all the K2 ruled nakshatras, they're in fire signs. So you have this really energized nature to this K2 energy. So they can take things from the past, repackage it, and present it in a new, fresh way in the future. I'm also hearing you're breaking generational curses, especially patriarchally, and that deals with Maga, right? Maga is the procession of the father. So you guys are breaking generational curses. You're determined to do things differently, to do things better, to take care of people's needs in a really holistic kind of a way. Also, I feel like some of you guys, you eat really healthy. You encourage other people to eat really healthy. I'm almost getting like, like Christy Brinkley or Cameron Diaz. I'm about to sneeze. They have like all these books on how to age gracefully and one moment. Okay, I turned you off to sneeze. Where you guys might really encourage people to eat their vegetables, to eat. My mom always used to say, make sure you eat your colors. You want a colorful plate. So you might always have like a colorful plate, or you encourage people to eat their fruits. Some of you guys like to go fruit picking, but and if you don't, I know it's very specific, but it's the nature of that where you're getting something that's going to nourish you and your family. It's healthy, it's beautiful. You're making a family activity of it. You guys are the matriarchs and patriarchs of a family, of a community, of a group. I feel like you just have that energy to just go in and bring things together. This is a true alpha energy. I talk a lot about how alphas, they are the nurturers. They have the highest cortisol levels because they always want to make sure everyone's okay. Another thing that I'm getting, look at all these arms here between the two of them. First of all, you guys might, like I said, you might be parents, you might be partners. If you are in a relationship, your partner adores you, like you're doing the most. Look at all these hands they have. I feel like you guys are constantly busy. You juggle a lot of things, you do it with a lot of grace and tact. I also think people really like to get you alone. Like they feel very seen. They like to interact with you one-on-one. It's like kind of a blessing of the father, where, or the mother, where it's just, it's like a child just at the end of the day getting to connect with someone in a really meaningful sort of a way. You guys are present. You have a strong sense of presence. And whether or not the people around you use those like kind of spiritually words like, I feel really seen, or I feel really like this person was so present with me. They were in an egoless state. They might not say things like that, but they can feel a vibrational difference whenever you're around. Some of you also dress really nice. You wear soft fabrics and you also have very soft skin. I don't know if you're always lotioning or something like that, but there's just a sense of grace around you where you do the simple things. You do the simple things really well. You guys also really super value the simple things. I feel like you really like children as well. You might work with children. You guys might be teachers. And it's like the lessons that you bring to the table, it's more than just academic. You guys might do fun things with food, like your mom sets the bowl of flour out and lets you mix it with the water and pretend like you're cooking or something like that. It's a very holistic feel that you guys have. I feel like you guys help to unblock people's hearts in some kind of way. You create, and this is what it happened. This is the magic of being the person you are, is like you create a safe space for people and they just naturally open up. You don't do anything. You're not, okay, I'm going to make you open up and it's going to be about me and all of my glory. And so I'm going to grab this and I'm going to yank on it. And then I'm going to grab this and I'm going to yank on it, whether or not you like it. It's not that at all. It's you just create the environment and everything else kind of does the rest. It's almost like setting a broken bone, where they set the bone together and then the bone does the rest. You are really good at fostering, nurturing, having a green thumb, right? There's that quote that's, I mean metaphorically, but some of you might literally. There's that quote that is like, If a plant isn't growing, you don't blame the plant. You look at what's going on in the surroundings around it. This is a natural gift that you have. This is what I'm saying. You tap into energy so effortlessly that it can't help but spill over into the physical. And like I said, I feel like children especially love to be around you. But yeah, you unblock people's heart chakra and you get them out of their head and into their heart, into their body, into their intuition. And people just really, really love that. And it feels safe and protected because I'm just noticing this heart looks safe and protected into this ball here. Some of you guys might be pioneers in your field, and you whatever it is that you're doing, there's just something so dynamic about you. That phrase of like, well, this is just how we've always done it, like that doesn't apply to you. And you also have you bring people in. I feel like you can use people's assets. You make them feel seen. You put them to good use to where their talents can be showcased. And then that starts a natural reinforcement cycle for that person. There's something about the way that you communicate. And I'm noticing all of the darkness around these connections. You have a way of making people feel like there's an intimate bond between the two of you. People just love the way that you talk and communicate with them. We have warrior here on the bottom. So strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So you know what a lot of strong people do, and a lot of people don't realize this, is that you actually, in order to create this safe space, you take a lot of the hits yourself, and you've taken a lot of the hits early on. You know what that is like. You broke down a lot of barriers, and you hold yourself to really high standards so that you could get yourself into a certain position in your life to where you can be a space holder for other people. There's something here where you're very skillful. You're just, and you're strong and you're disciplined. Look, Queen radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Queens versus kings tend to have like a more, in the tarot and in symbolism, they tend to have a very nurturing kind of effect. Look, we've got guide here, represents the nature of the divine in life of yourself. And with hedonist, I feel like you guys could be quite beautiful in a very simple, natural kind of a way. And inspires creative inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrates the beauty in yourself. I feel like you also celebrate the beauty in other people. For some of you guys, like there's you rely heavily on a partner, or like you're known as a family unit or something like that. And people just love this energy that you bring to the table. With the Six of Swords, I feel like you help people move away from their tough times. I feel like you probably do this professionally in some capacity. And if you don't do it as an actual profession, like you are a therapist and a really good therapist, if you don't do it as an actual profession, then in whatever workspace you are in, or wherever you're spending time during the day, you do that extra bit of work to make, to curate the environment around you. So that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 1. This is beautiful. Also, you guys might really like animals. Animals, nature, the simple things. I just feel like you have a deep appreciation for the simple things. You're not pretentious. You do it and you do it well. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for existing. I appreciate you for watching my videos, subscribing to my channel, being so kind and thoughtful in your comments and all of that stuff. So I hope you guys have a really good Thanksgiving. Bye, pile number 1. number 2, look at you guys. I am going to do my best to put into words what is essentially beyond words. This is a group that does not, it's difficult to define, and that's what people really do appreciate about you. I can't, part of what's going to be difficult for me to put into words is the gravity and the depth that I'm getting from this pile. You guys revel in the murky waters of the unknown, of the deep divine feminine. Baba Yaga here with authenticity. This is a grandmother crone kind of an energy, meaning it is a mature energy of that divine feminine. Now, this is an energy that's pretty rare in the world. It's hard to be this energy, and people know that instinctively about you because this authentic energy can lend itself to being the outcast. Some of you guys might actually be the heretic of society. You bring a different kind of perspective that is deep and whole, and you insist for yourself. You hold this space around you, but you insist that people be authentic. You do not have time to put on airs for people, and you don't like when other people put on airs. You do not encourage people to put on airs, and you're not greedy. This energy is not greedy at all with the dilettante here at the bottom, delights in the arts without having to be a professional, and alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. This energy is authentic, and as such, it is absolutely the opposite energy of being superficial in any way. You guys actually might wear a lot of dark colors, celebrating the divine feminine and that chaotic, deep, dark underworld energy that so much of the world is afraid of. Even spirituality is afraid of this, right? It's all about kind of trying to tame it, where you revel in it, and it's a really difficult place to get at in your spiritual journey. I really have a lot of respect for this energy. So with this vampire energy coming out, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Putting on airs and creating a false persona for ourselves in order to be accepted in society or to get wherever it is that we want to go in a worldly sense really does drain people of their energy. And I feel like you guys are so dedicated to your own authenticity. You guys might read a lot of Carl Jung, right? And the whole process of individuation and then integration of the shadow. You guys take your shadow work very seriously. You're not afraid. You might be afraid, but you're courageous and insistent in looking and examining your own shadow. You guys probably do a lot of childhood wound like work, and it's an unfolding process that's going to go on for your whole life, but you're working on integrating that shadow. And as you do that, it changes your energy so much to where you are such an authentic individual. I feel like some of you guys might wear really interesting jewelry as well that's very meaningful. But because you carry that energy with you, you make other people aware, even if it's on a subconscious level, because I feel like so much of who you are, people can't understand. Not truly, not ever. That is the nature of the divine feminine. And I feel like you make them aware of the ways that they're placating to society or that they're covering themselves up in order to not be judged. You guys are, I'm not going to say that you're not afraid of being judged. I see a strength and a courage, a valor and a deep integrity, an honesty and a devotion to those things. You hold those things as your values. And because you do that, you are a pillar of strength with the Emperor card here. I'm getting with this Emperor card with the 4. This is a watery energy, deeply spiritual, but I'm kind of getting a scorpionic energy where it's that fixed water as well, where you have you're examining a lot of the things that you see, the dark underbelly of the world, and you don't look away. And because of that, you're able to navigate life in a really interesting way, and you become this pillar of strength. With this 4, I'm getting the 4th house, which is often called the seat of power, and it is the Cancer house, the matron, ruled over by the moon, and the moon is the divine feminine nature that is dual, that is ever changing. You're not afraid to show like the what society would call the negative sides to yourself that people might find embarrassing. You also, I feel like you guys have a deep understanding. You have a strong wisdom to you about the scriptures. Any scripture, whatever you're drawn to study, you have a very deep esoteric well of knowledge to you. It's a sense that you carry with you. People just sense this about you. Some of you guys, maybe you've gotten a little bit of a reputation for being mean or for being nasty, but maybe you're just more direct with people. And especially if you're a woman, that's like a common thing where if you just shoot it kind of straight and you're direct and you say something that might be an uncomfortable truth, and you say it out of this yearning for transformation, because you want the people around you to kind of encourage them to be their authentic self too, like it can get you a bad rap. But you, because of that, you understand that the necessity of this energy. That's why it's so rare. Not a lot of people have it in them to embody this. This has to be a very old soul pile. And if I feel like this pile might actually need it said to them more than other people, that there are certain people who appreciate this energy about you. We have the monk nun, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Look at this with the Knight of Swords. You guys are not afraid to speak the truth. You also make spiritual concepts easier to understand. You speak about them very direct. I feel like people try to tear you down because you have this feminine strength to you, regardless, again, of your gender. Now, some of you guys might be of the black race, which has a collective water karma to it, which is very much divine feminine. It's deep spirituality. Water always goes to the lowest place. That's why it's the strongest. It was voted the strongest and the lead race. And so there's a part of you that always goes like to the lowest place here. Some of you guys might have spent some time in some kind of deeply spiritual place, whether that's like actually a monastery or you've taken time away from society. Baba Yaga is deeply associated with the wilderness. A lot of you guys might be loners. You might have a deep understanding of nature. You might be herbalists. Like I said, this is a crone kind of an energy that natural kind of witchy element that you think of when you think of the witchy crone. I'm getting here in this pile. So I feel like you guys have a deep understanding of nature. I'm getting Dr. Krista Pinkola Este's book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. She compares women and that cycle like two wolves, and I'm kind of getting that sort of a nature where you kind of call it out. Some of you guys might be Virgos, and specifically Hasta. You could have a moon-ruled nakshatra in your chart, and that those are in the middle of the earth signs. So that would be Rohini, Hasta, or Shravana. You guys are deep listeners. You are interpreters of spirit in some way or another. There's just a deeply spiritual feel to this. And also you're a teacher here. Ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Look at this. You guys are straight shooters, even to your own detriment. I said this in another reading, I think it was on Patreon, but I was talking about Peace Pilgrim. I don't know if you guys remember Peace Pilgrim, but she was like this super old lady who was so sweet. She just one day, literally just one day, decided that she was gonna walk out of her house and just be done. She didn't like talk to the bank or you know what I mean? She just, with the clothes on her back, and she walked back and forth across the United States several times. Like she would dumpster dive, people would give her food, and eventually she started making appearances at like universities, especially to their religious studies departments. I learned about this in my religious studies classes, and I remember thinking like, oh, I wish like I could have had that experience, but she had died like right around the time I was there. And but yeah, you have that kind of nature to you where like, do you see the metaphors of that though, where like not caring about society and like the fake trappings like of the world that kind of tend to take our energy away from our spiritual pursuits, just walking away, putting your immense trust in the chaos and the unknown, embracing it fully, looking right at your shadow, saying the things to people, like exposing the underbelly of society, that kind of thing. Some of you guys might make jewelry or you make something. I feel like you're really good with art or like expression. There's something about you that's just deeply intuitive and expressive, but you don't have to make money off of it. There's a decidedly ungreedy energy to this. You just want to communicate what's important. This is like not a pile that is superficial in any way. I'm going to say it again. So yeah, like this, you're deeply authentic and you encourage other people to be deeply authentic as well, and to look at all the ways, all the little thought patterns. So those of you who read Ishmael with us, they talk about mother culture, all the whisperings of mother culture, all the things we inherently know by the time we're 6 years old. And it's not because somebody outright told it to us or that you could regurgitate it verbatim. It's just like, it's almost like you marinated in it. And so it's just the little things that we all adhere to and we don't really know about. You encourage people to do their own deep diving. People truly feel a sense of spirit when they're with you, because spirit there's that wild, untamed nature to it that is very scary. There's also a sense of forgiveness. You are a type of person that, and I was just thinking about this the other day, I don't know why. Like the goth kid, like they're always the sweetest kid. They look so intense and like, maybe they have a lot of piercings. They always wear black, but in my experience, those are always like the sweetest, like most loving of people. And you have that. And so it's almost a contradictory where it's like you could be a little intimidating to people or scary, but you're actually a confessional. You're like a walking confessional ready to absolve people of their sins because you have so much compassion and empathy for the human experience because you've confronted so much of your own self. I'm literally getting like people could tell you anything and you wouldn't judge them. You wouldn't judge them, and because of that, you help to like release people. This is such deep work. I'm telling you, there's like 4 of you that chose this pile. It's not, this energy is so difficult because so many of us are pulled on constantly here to betray our own selves. You encourage people to transform, not to betray their own selves. Crows have a watcher crow, and I feel like that could be you. You have that energy of the watcher crow that alerts someone to danger. I'm hearing like the canary in the coal mine. You sense something energetically that's going to throw people off of their spiritual mission. You help people. Look, you guys are like a part of, you're like a walking spirit. Like you're a part of a spiritual world and you're bringing that light in, and it's so difficult. But the Hangman, yeah, you help people look at things in a different way. I also feel like you encourage people to like just slow down. To just slow down, stop, and to commune, like just to be with each other. You guys have an innate sense of what is truly valuable. I'm also getting, I don't know if some of you guys watch Living Big in a Tiny House, but there was this old lady who literally like wandered off into the woods and she built like this round like structure, and she just like lives out there. That's the energy that I'm getting. You guys might have fantasies of just wandering off into the woods, into the forest. And just kind of wandering around. So this is such, I really cannot begin to tell you. I have a lot of gratitude that you're walking the earth with this energy. I have so much reverence for this. It's the most difficult energy to embody. This is the energy of witches. This is the energy of chaos. This is the energy that has been hunted and tried to be stamped out. This is the rose that the thorn was here to protect, and it's gone into hiding and it's cloaked, and you carry it with you every day. People probably do have a difficult time expressing their gratitude for this energy that you carry into the world, but I am here and Spirit is recognizing you. You have built your riches in the spiritual realm and not in the physical realm, and I just want to say thank you so much. You guys are the outcast, the divine outcast, and because of it, it has helped you cultivate your wisdom. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. And that you are giving thanks and experiencing your gratitude in whatever way works for you guys. Pile number 2, thanks again for being human. Bye. Pile number 3, what are people grateful of when it comes to you? Okay, so many things. There's such a deep level of skill here that I'm going to struggle explaining it, but this skill has to do with a balance and a uniting of opposites. Almost like, you know, I kind of get a vibe that you might have been drawn to one or the other piles, but I feel like that's just, I actually feel like pile number 3, you guys, one of the things people appreciate you is how balanced you are. It's almost like you unite something masculine and something feminine together in order to do something truly profound. And it's almost, I feel a sense of mission here with pile number 3. So it's almost like people sense that you are here on some kind of mission with a skill set that you have that requires an immense level of skill. I see someone who can look at like a lot of different variables here that are going on, and they're very confusing. They might have gone on for a long time for someone, and then distill it down, like get right to the heart of it with the 8 of Swords. Literally, like, I'm not trying to be that person, but I'm getting a Jesus-y vibe from you guys. Pile number 3, like a divine healer, a channel for divine energy that ends up healing people, but it's so direct. I feel like literally this is you. You know, like he's got his head cocked to the side. He's like, what's going on here? And like he's using his hands. This is almost a magician vibe too. The head's the hands, the heart. And the magician, of course, is an immensely skillful energy. It's also divine masculine energy. And I get that. And it's, here's where I'm going to struggle to explain this. You know, like the divine masculine is embodied in the magician energy with that skill, with that sense of mission, and masculine energy is about doing. There's something that you're doing, right? But it pulls from divine feminine energy. You guys are in touch with your north-south node axis. Okay, you know what? You guys are fulfilling your mission. That's exactly what it is. So whatever your south node is, some of you guys might be Ashwins. Or you have K2, so Ashwini energy, and I do have that video up on my astrology channel, Just Puckett Astrology, if you want to watch that and learn about Ashwini energy, but they are the divine healers of the zodiac. You bring an immense amount of peace. Some of you guys, like, you wouldn't hesitate to run into like a burning building to get someone. You are so unselfish, right? With this companion energy, loyalty, tenacity, unselfishness. You're an unwavering presence in your community, and you really are. There is something maybe a little bit eccentric about you, but I also feel like it's super beautiful. I'm getting a scientist vibe, but in the best way. How do I describe this? Yeah, you know, the Fool is Uranus energy, which is, it is Aquarius energy. And you know what? I feel like your divine mission, you guys are here to help with the transformation into into the age of Aquarius, but you're doing it on a communal level, on like a more group level, but you're also doing it for people individually, and that's something they notice and that they appreciate about you. With this white buffalo woman, this is the energy of peace, and she helps people undergo, like she gives people specific directions to undergo in order to change their energy and in order to change their community, so that they can bring about this era of peace. But when she appears on the scene, right, everybody's taken by her beauty, superficial beauty, and like the king or like the chief or whatever wanted to make her his bride because she was so beautiful, and another guy was like being all lusty about her, and she smote them, she smited them. So I feel like you can give someone a good smiting. I don't think you do it often. There's a very stoic, kind of reserved energy coming through this pile. And that's not to say that maybe you behave, I feel like a lot of you are more stoic. There's a sense of mystery to you, but that it's a just kind of mystery, and that you're here on a mission like this Avenger. You have that Avenger kind of a quality. But with this white buffalo woman, I feel like people might look at what you do on the surface and it seems so ordinary or beautiful even. Like they see a sense of value and a sense of beauty in you, like right off the bat. But then as they get to know you, it's like kind of a crime to look at you in such a superficial sort of a way. And like you'll also let them know, I feel like you have no time for superficiality. You guys might be Ashwins, like I said. You might have strong K2 in your chart. You're definitely connecting with your south node. You're bringing in lessons from your past lives. I feel like that's the only way you could achieve this energy, pile number 3, like where you've built upon pile number 1 and pile number 2. It's almost like you're channeling that. You're channeling some kind of divine healing energy out there for people, and it brings in peace within themselves. And I don't know why I'm getting inflammation. Like I'm getting the energy of inflammation, but you're calming down the energy of inflammation, which again, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Because I feel like there's something very holistic about what you do. You hit it on all layers, you know? Yeah, and so the reason that they like this is because you give them a sense of clarity, and you're kind of a straight shooter. You don't use unnecessary words. You're not trying to like, it is what it is. Also, there's a sense of like, you got a lot to do. So there's like not a lot of maybe time. With the 9 of Cups, you guys are very self-contained people. I feel like it might be hard to get to know you, but there's just a deep sense of peace. You guys might be prolific meditators or something like that with the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment, and it is a sense of personal fulfillment. I feel like you guys, you have this very peaceable energy. People want to raise themselves up to be like you, and in that way, this is what I'm saying, like with this holistic energy, and I feel like that's a little bit of pile number 2 coming in here for you guys as well, where it's like the way you hold yourself, which I feel like is regal. It's almost regal. The way you hold yourself inspires people to want to cultivate their own sense of integrity and to hold themselves in the same way. You guys might be very well traveled here with this map. So people know like very superficial things about you, like that you're a healer, that you've traveled around, but there's still a sense of mystery about you. Yeah. And there is some kind of loving energy. Like, I feel like when people get you one-on-one, this is a one-on-one energy, right? It is the Ashwins. There's a sense of that. Ashwini is the twin healer to the gods. Maybe you have a brother or a sister or somebody very close to you, and people notice that relationship where you show a lot of love. Or I feel like you show a lot of love one-on-one to people, but at the same time, it's like very direct and to the point. The 10 of Wands, like you walk people through their difficulties. I hate to keep with the Jesus metaphors, you guys. Jesus was kind of Ashwini himself, but I feel like, that quote in the Bible that's like, when you looked and you saw only one set of footprints on the beach, it was then that I carried you. I might be adding the beach part because I'm seeing like in the sand. So yeah, I feel like helps you recognize and confront addictive behaviors. There is something here about holding back this watery energy to get to the heart of something. It's almost like you wrangle people in. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. I feel like this is almost a divine curator energy. You guys might do a lot of community service, because people really see you as someone who has a deep sense of insight, but you don't really reveal all of your secrets. You just are proficient in it, and that makes you the healer. In tarot, like the levels are student, teacher, healer, master. And I feel like you guys are healers on your way to mastery in something. And so, like I said, with this student and teacher vibe, like those are the mechanisms. That's two sides of the same coin, right? Like you always learn the most when you're being a teacher, and no true teacher ever stops learning, right? Those are the mechanisms that propel you upwards into being a healer, into being a master. So you guys are very proficient at learning and at teaching, and there's I kind of feel like you don't waste your time teaching people who aren't ready, because you know that a lot of people are not ready to hear certain things that you have to say. So you are very self-contained, but it's a very loving kind of an energy that's no nonsense around you, and people just super appreciate that. Because I'm kind of getting, like, metaphorically speaking, like a tough daycare teacher or something that, she really does hold the class accountable, but it creates a sense of peace. And whether or not, like, you can articulate it, you can tell that all the kids really do appreciate that wrangling of the energy that's going on. You guys are energy wranglers. You're like, you give people an energetic haircut where you're like, what is this? This is everywhere, and then you trim it back and you give somebody like an energetic makeover. So this was a really refined kind of an energy. So refined, I feel like, in this balancing energy, that it's difficult almost to even explain. And I feel like to someone who doesn't really think a lot about these things, it's probably easy to overlook and not to see what it is that you truly do bring to the table. But you see the truth of people in some kind of way. You can see their pain and their heartbreak. And I feel like people are always surprised how quickly you're able to get to the heart of who they are. So let me just I want to clarify this 10 of Wands. I just feel like you walk people through their darkest times. And it could be like in some kind of illness. Yeah, you walk people through their heartache and you allow them to feel safe to open up. You also are very respectful about their own treasures, like the things that they don't want you to touch. And I feel like you do stand your own ground. People would not, like, you guys, I'm sorry to say this, but you would totally have gotten burned at the stake in another life, because like this, it's like Nostradamus, where he had to be very quiet about the things that he was doing so that he wouldn't, he had to overcome the Spanish Inquisition. And so that's why he like coded a bunch of his stuff in riddles. And that's why people would find you so mysterious, because I feel like you're also cloaking. Like there is a way that you kind of cloak whatever mission that it is that you're here to do. And it might not be such a conscious thing. You might even be remembering from a past life, like you did get hurt or something for the knowledge that you have, but you have immense courage. You're on a mission. You want to bring this into the world. And I feel like, look at your south node and your north node axis, because that you're activating that, you're fulfilling that, you are fulfilling your life's mission, and you're encouraging other people to fulfill their life's mission as well too. Look at this. I feel like you guys have been through some heartbreak yourself, and you get, it's like you're a body whisperer. There's that method, body talk. Maybe you guys do body talk healing, but this is the head and the heart not on the same page. And I feel like you desire to balance that out, and you can go in there on behalf of someone. It's almost like you're an ambassador to someone's body on behalf of themselves, and you're like, listen, this is what we're gonna do here. Such strange energy. Or I'm explaining it in a weird way, one of the two. Okay, like the King of Swords, some of you guys literally are doctors or you like surgeons or something. You have an immense amount of knowledge, but you use it as a companion to other people. So I feel like, and there is a part of you that tends to hover above any kind of madness. It's like you don't get any dirt on you. You're not down there with the rest of the people. You kind of hover above, but it gives you a bird's eye view. You guys really, truly do have a bird's eye view. I feel like there's a sense of being a little bit pulled back, but I feel like people have an appreciation for the fruits of your inner journey. They might not be able to explain what it is that you do for them and the skill involved and be thankful specifically for that, but they're certainly thankful for the fruits of your labor. And I feel like there is some kind of a knowing that it must have cost you a lot to be able to do whatever it is that you do every day. You guys also do have a very strong sense of justice around you. But this is almost a peaceful warrior like Martin Luther King, that energy of nonviolent protest. So I feel like you guys are avengers. You desire justice in the world, but you are nonviolent protesters. You guys might, they have like those times where people meditate for peace or whatever. You guys might have a dedicated process where you meditate for peace. You guys do not betray people's confidences. I feel like you're a vault baby locked down. If someone tells you something, it stays between the two of you. You'll compromise other things. You have a very highly developed mind. You're so skillful, you guys. It's hard to look at. I got to put it down. So anyways, that is what people appreciate about you guys. Pile number 3. I hope that made some kind of sense. This was such a hard pile to describe. But if that does resonate, please do let me know. Some of you guys might be addiction counselors as well. But you do help restore a sense of peace within people. You're really got a no-nonsense kind of an energy, and people do actually appreciate that about you. So that's what I have for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.